by Real Sports Cards in Waupun on Daily Dodge TV and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
What a win for Wisconsin yesterday, and a comfortable one at that in the tournament.
Look at that. Jigs don't exist.
Exactly. I've always said that.
Yeah, you have.
We'll react to the victory, the red-hot Big Ten in March. That's new. Marquette takes on New Mexico at 6:25 p.m. tonight. 7:10 matchup. We preview that with Gabe Neitzel. Favorite snacks. How many brackets do I have left? And I found someone who's worse than me. You thought 25 was bad. How about 40?
That's, again, I said it yesterday, and I will say it again. If it was up to me, you guys would be locked up and keep away. I don't want you infiltrating the youth. I don't want the future to have like 50 brackets
no corruption.
each. It should be one bracket each. I'll leave it at that.
Welcome to the Damn Sports Show Tournament Special on 100.5 ESPN Madison and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. Corey Sparks, Wally Lukashinsky, and Hunter Vaughn here with you from the Everlight Solar Studios here at ESPN Madison. Got a couple games on in here. Mississippi State, Baylor's close going into the halftime break, and then WIAA Division V state semifinal, the second of two, Abundant Life and Sheboygan Lutheran. It looks like Sheboygan Lutheran's running away with it, so we've got our matchup there. You and I will be there tomorrow, and then, Hunter, you've got games tonight, semifinals, right?
Yeah, I'll be on the call for Division I games. Wisconsin Lutheran making the jump up from Division II to D1 as they'll take on Oshkosh North, and then local team Wanakee taking on the Marshfield Tigers for D1.
Oh, I like that. Marshfield Tigers has a nice little ring to it. I'm usually kind of an anti, let's have a million Panthers, Cougars, Tigers in sports, but I feel like Marshfield somehow gets away with it.
When the city works with the mascot, it just hits right.
Oh, it reminds me of the Kakana Galloping Ghost and how they lean into their actual Halloween like roots. They have the galloping. What's the guy from Ichabod Crane?
The Headless Horseman.
Headless Horseman. There it is. This is why
Hunter,
you're the man.
I would have never in a million years had the answer for that.
Yeah, and they even go like black and orange. Like one of these days, we've always talked about it. We're going to have like a nicknames or bracket kind of thing for high school sports in Wisconsin. We got to do it at some point.
There we go. 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and text line. List is more. 844-770-3776. If you'd like to chime in, initial gut check feelings after the Wisconsin victory over Montana yesterday. 85-66. The last time Wisconsin won in the NCAA tournament was 2022. They beat Colgate. That was a 3-14 matchup, then fell to Iowa State. That was a 67-60 victory. I want to start with just the way this team won, because even that Colgate win, the last time Wisconsin pulled this off a little over 3 years ago to the date, it didn't feel like this one did. We were making the jokes about jinxes and everything yesterday. Was this at least a breath of fresh air for you guys? Wally, we'll start with you. Like, there was never really a sense of panic, a tipping point where you're going, uh-oh, here come the Grizzlies.
No, I even said it yesterday. I was worried that we were going to see one of those where 5 minutes left in the first half. It's like a tie game, and we're looking around and kind of doing that little, are we getting nervous feeling? Wisconsin was so much bigger. They utilized that. They knew how to play. They're deep. They shot the free throws well. They actually turned the ball over 11 times yesterday, a little uncharacteristically against a smaller team, but they did what they had to do. They went out there. They didn't really give Montana any hope in the second half, because that's when it gets scary, guys. Whenever you give that team, it's like a 5-6 point game, 5-6 minutes left, then all of a sudden the free throws get harder to make. That press comes. It feels like it's even more ferocious than you're used to seeing it. They didn't give them that. So if you're asking like a confidence level right now where I'm at like a 7.5. I'd like to see the 3-point shooting be a little better. But if in a weird way, I don't know if you guys feel this way, I feel like we haven't seen Wisconsin's best basketball since probably the semifinal in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, UCLA game.
It kind of makes me feel like we might get that against BYU tomorrow. At least that's how I'm feeling.
Yeah, BYU is so much better than what Montana is. So, like, this is just going to be such a step up. Like, other teams kind of get pushed in these early round games, these first round games. They really didn't get pushed that much. And now all of a sudden you're going into a BYU team that's legit. They can make a run here, and they've got to be ready to go. Because if they're not, they're going to get punched in the mouth early, I think, against BYU.
Well, and this is where I hope Hunter's bracket works out on this part of it, at least, because you had a scenario, Hunter, where Alabama would not be the team facing Wisconsin in the Sweet 16, which would be optimal. If they can get a bit of an easier road, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I'd take an easy road too, but it doesn't feel like that's going to happen, right? I mean, are you at this point, our brackets are both dead. We have one each. I feel like I'm just throwing it out. I'm just rooting for the easiest path for the Badgers at this point.
Yeah, at this point, like I even had Marquette losing today, and I'm kind of like, you know what? I don't really care about my bracket. Like, just go make a run, Marquette.
Yeah.
Like, let's just go. Let's just do this thing because my bracket's dead. I'm kind of dead inside when it comes to my bracket. So I'm just like, whatever happens, I don't even care anymore.
Did you have a moment yesterday? When was that moment where it was like, it's over? Because every year you
Game
have
one.
one. Which one?
Game one.
It was
Yeah.
game one for you? It
Yeah,
was done.
I had Louisville in the Sweet 16.
Second weekend, yep.
The second they lost, it was like, this is done. Like, there's
Quick
just
and
no point
painless,
anymore.
right? I feel like there was some pain, but early it was over.
Yeah, but it's so fun if I can make it into like Saturday or Sunday and feeling really good about things. Like,
I have some advice for you.
Shut your mouth. I'm not doing 25 brackets. I'm not even going to do 2 brackets. I'm doing 1. I am a purist, and you just need to stop,
respect it.
and I'm ready for the weekend to get away from you.
Trying to convert him, and it's not
Imagine
going to
this
work.
every day, Hunter. I have to deal with this 5 days a week. He lives like 5 minutes from me. I don't even get away on Saturday or Sunday half the time.
I called him at 9 p.m. yesterday, letting him know that there is an offender that's worse than myself who has 40 brackets.
And it
who's
turns
using
into
CBS,
a 30-minute conversation
ESPN.
about like, hey, by the way, my basketball team lost as well. I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. I don't know what you want
Congrats
from
to
me.
the Oshkosh Titans. That was a heartbreaker. Good run, though.
It was. Well, what I will say about BYU, looking back at this, they are a very deep team. We really didn't see that from Montana. They're going to have 10 guys that have played 11 minutes or more on average this year, and they're a lot longer, too. They're not as big as the Badgers, but they're got like 6'7" guys in that like 6'7" to 6'9" range where they're at least going to be a matchup. It'll be interesting. I'm interested to see if the Badgers are able to keep up. BYU, they're quick. You don't really think of BYU as a quick team. I think that they could provide some issues, but at the end of the day, the Badgers, if they play their brand of basketball, if they could at some point start hitting threes again, they should not. I think that it's like an 8-point win against BYU tomorrow.
That was the other thing. I want to give you some bump. You labeled about 3 things that I can remember. There's probably more than that. You said between 20 and 30 free throws, 16 for 20. That was Wisconsin yesterday. You said they'd win the rebound battle by at least 10, won it by 11. And your player to watch was who?
It's not a big deal. It's just Crowell, whatever.
Stephen Crowell, 18 points, 8 of 10 from the field. Arguably had the best game. John Blackwell did well as well with the team best 19. That might have been Stephen Crowell's, not his best game of the year, but it was up there.
Well, you can see the size yesterday. That's what we asked for. I understand he's not a physical big in the traditional sense, but when you play a team like Montana, you have to make that length evident. And yesterday, it felt like he did on both ends of the floor. Tomorrow's going to be a real test again because it's going to be a rotation of guys. Even if BYU has a guy or two that gets into foul trouble, they're going to be in a good spot to have other guys come in, same kind of height, ability to shoot the ball. That's the thing. They have scorers throughout this lineup.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a genuine test. You're just going to have to go out there and pray that the Badgers are able to start hitting some threes. But if you kind of limit those turnovers to 11 yesterday against a weaker Montana side, that it had at least my eyebrow raised a little bit.
I believe they lost the turnover battle, actually.
They did. It was 11-8. And I'm at right now, confidence level for tomorrow. I'd love to know where you guys, I'm kind of sitting at that like 7 to 7.5. They should win. They should win. I'm thinking an 8-point victory is kind of what my gut's telling me right now. It's got to be a second weekend team this year.
I'd do a 7. I think the fact that, again, this was a comfortable win. We have to go back 3 years since the last time that Wisconsin won in the NCAA tournament. They had the NIT a couple years ago, first rounded by JMU in a game that it didn't really feel like they were in after the first few minutes. I'll sit with you on a 7. Hunter, 7 range, up, down?
Bucky by a billion.
Like Chris Orr said, Bucky by a billion.
There you go.
My bracket's done for, so I don't care anymore.
I
I just want the Badgers to just put up points, and more points.
Bucky by a billion. I like that.
Yeah.
Bucky by a billion.
Ooh, I'm
one
telling
of
you,
your
I would love that. What we need, I would love one of those games where you kind of got to see yesterday in Georgia, who did they get boat raced by? They were down 27-3. It was
Gonzaga.
Great call.
Yep.
Gonzaga's up 24 before you blink. I want to see a game where the Badgers are up like 38-22.
They kind of did that to
15
UCLA
minutes
not too long ago. The
Yeah.
game you were referencing, Big Ten semis, they
and
boat
that
raced them.
that felt like you were watching prime Badger basketball. Like that is what this team can be. And if they're playing at that level, they're going to win tomorrow. I think they'll beat Alabama. And who knows? We see Duke all the time. I know that Hunter and I have been like, it is Duke in that Elite Eight game.
Yeah.
Duke has to get out of these first 3 rounds to be in that situation. And how often have we seen high-seeded Duke programs fall early in the year? I keep thinking of Lehigh, I want to say about a decade ago.
Yeah.
That 2-15. There's always that weird game, but if they get through that, then it seems like they go on a deep run. So we got to hope. I love Duke to be out by the end of the weekend.
It's Mount St. Mary's now. I think we have had this conversation before, right? Like if they get out of the first weekend, they're going for a run, or they won't. I don't see a situation where they bow out in the Sweet 16.
No. I feel like Cooper Flag's inevitable at this point.
By the way, gentlemen, just because this is like the one bright spot for me, Bama's struggling early against the 15 seed Robert Morris,
Pittsburgh proud.
32-29.
Horizon League.
And I had them getting upset in the second round. So I'm feeling like maybe I know something about Bama basketball.
You do.
I have not
Colonials.
watched a second of it all year.
Oh, you didn't have
but-
to disclose that. No, you've watched so many games. You've got them down pat.
No, I'm not going to lie. Come on.
fair
I
enough.
have integrity.
Yeah, exactly. He's
Not
a
like
man
filling
that
out
fills
25
out.
He's a
brackets.
one bracketer. That's a one
Exactly.
bracketer if I've ever seen one in my life.
A
Yep.
purist, and that's why I love Hunter Vaughn. I'm going to kidnap him on the way back.
Before we kick it to break and come back and look out the red hot Big Ten that went 4-0 yesterday, 4 more on tap today. What stage are you at now when you understand the bracket is not going to be perfect? It's not going to be close to perfect. Are you already looking ahead to your Elite Eights going, who survived? Did I have anyone that made a deep run that already got dethroned? Or are you kind of just going to I'm rooting for my team at this point?
Well, see, my team's dead, Hunter. They never even made the tournament. So for me,
They're
it
undefeated
was purely root for my
tournament.
bracket.
That's Ohio State, by the way.
It is the Ohio State University. We'll be playing tonight, girls or women's hockey. Excuse me. I was doing that yesterday. I called the college game boys basketball and girls basketball, and then Hunter's like, they're grown people now.
Yeah, they're grown adults. High school is boys and girls.
Yep.
College
There
is men's
needs to
and women.
be like
Zach
a-
Edey was not a boy last year. I don't know how to
need
explain
find
that.
out like where this meeting happened, because to me, I feel like if you ask like, are you watching the NBA or the WNBA, I still would be like, oh, I'm watching the boys. No.
Yeah, but Wally, have everyone that's playing turned 18 when you're watching these NCAA tournament games?
That's the cutoff.
They should. Yeah, if they haven't, we've got other issues.
Yeah, so they're all adults. So they're all men. They're all adults. They're all women. So it's men's and women's basketball.
I need
High
like
school
one
is
of those
boys and
rubber
girls.
bands where every time I do it, I need to like flick
Snap it.
myself and
Yeah.
like Pavlov's dog me. But the women's
Conditioning, good
hockey
pull.
team are on a collision course with this great area's Wisconsin Badgers with potentially a third straight national title matchup between the two programs. So, yeah, but my team's dead. That was my point. Ohio State is dead, and what that means is I was rooting for my bracket, and I'm in that weird spot, Hunter. I think you can relate a little bit, where I had an awful first day, but I really don't have a lot of Sweet 16s dead yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same spot, so I'm still a little worried about it. But it's, again, like, I do this every year. I'll fill out a bracket. I'm still going to join the groups. Like, I'm not giving up on it. But I don't know why I pin my hopes up on, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to actually do well this year. Like, I actually know what's going on. I don't. I have no idea how these guys are going to perform. I had no idea that UNC Wilmington was going to make a game out of it last night against Texas Tech. Like, I don't know this stuff. Like, I need to stop pretending that I actually know college hoops other than the Badgers and Marquette, because I don't watch anybody enough. I need to stop pretending. I'm a fake. I'm a fraud.
It's for the thrill of it, because typically when you watch sports, at most you have one team, your team, playing a day. And it feels like with the bracket, for just these 3 weeks, you kind of adopt these programs.
Yeah. Like, I really believe in this 3 seed. Let's
and
run.
When you drill
Yeah.
that Cinderella to go far, all of a sudden, you kind of have that personal connection. I still think of Davidson and Steph Curry to this day.
Yep.
Because like myself and about 100 million other people in the world had him in the Sweet 16. And it was special.
You
Felt
called
like
it.
you were smart.
You're the reason that happened. All right, Big Ten's red hot, which you usually cannot say during this tournament. 4-0 yesterday, 4 on tap today. We'll go over if they're finally breaking the streak that they've had for about the last quarter century in terms of a conference-wide slump. This is the Dam Sports Show Tournament Special on 100.5 ESPN Madison and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Something amazing is happening when power outages strike. Teams are powering through them. That's because CDW Solutions architects are building more resilient IT and electrical infrastructures with Schneider Electric. With EcoCare remote monitoring services and 24/7 support, your organization can do more than keep the lights on. Schneider Electric and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/SchneiderElectric.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Summer is coming and it's time to start thinking about your summer job. Jesse Nelson here. Madison School and Community Recreation is now hiring for many positions, including day camp and youth program leaders, support staff for individuals with disabilities, sports instructors and officials, and more. Full and part-time positions with daytime and evening hours are available. No matter your interest, schedule, or location, there's a position for everyone. At MSCR, you can make an immediate impact in the community and gain meaningful experience. Start your summer adventure today. Apply at mscr.org.
Veins don't have to be a pain. Whether you're suffering from painful varicose veins or bothersome spider veins, Stoughton Health's board-certified general surgeon, Dr. Aaron Schwab, can help. Join Dr. Schwab for a free, educational online event, Thursday, April 10th at 5:30 p.m. to learn about simple outpatient treatment that can alleviate varicose or spider veins. Register for this free event online at stoughtonhealth.com, then click on Classes and Events. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
We're on the Bucks
He's one of those guys that can absolutely dominate. He can activate that MVP mode.
because we're on Wisconsin sports.
And you know when Giannis is right, he can carry his team across the finish line.
Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
If you are looking for a one-stop shop for all things sports cards, here's what you're going to do. Head on over to Real Sports Cards in Waupun or give their app a try. Whether you're into sports cards or Pokemon cards, Real Sports Cards has you covered. With live breaks streaming right on the app, you can grab individual cards on the go. Be part of a group and watch for your favorite players and teams as the packs get opened. Go to the Apple or Google Play Store today, look for the orange logo, and take your collection to the next level with Real Sports Cards, your local resource for all things sports cards, Pokemon cards, and more. Corey Sparks, Hunter Vaughn, Wally Lukashinsky here with you. And like you, we've got multiple games going on. I'm sure a lot of people at this point are starting to play the balancing game. We're getting into the day 2 slate, an 8-9 matchup going on, and then the 2:15 between Alabama and Robert Morris. Robert Morris is sticking around.
Let's go Colonials. I'm watching it right now. This is the roller coaster that Hunter was referencing yesterday.
Yeah.
The riding every possession. This is what makes this year so special. And I love the NCAA for actually starting the tournament and starting each day with an 8-9 matchup. Get us an actual competitive game to start the day. I mean, the only other thing I could say is I guess if you wanted to ease into the day, you give us a 116, almost flush it. Let's get it out of the way. But I love the 8-9. You're guaranteed competition, and I love that about how they start these things.
It draws you in. Although be careful what you say about that because Louisville did not exactly have the greatest performance yesterday, unfortunately. Which that's the hill I was willing to die on. I was going, that is not an 8 seed. That's a 5 or a 6. They're going to make their way through, and they did not. But with the Big Ten, they went 4 for 4 yesterday. Purdue moved on. A little scary at some points for them. Wisconsin coasted. UCLA beat the brakes off of Utah State. And then Michigan survived. That's the word we'll use.
Yeah.
Very close one. Is this the year we get another Final Four team from the Big Ten or even somebody in the last game? I want to get each of your takes on it. I want to hear from you guys at home as well. 844-770-3776. The Carvelous Talk and text line lists more. Wally, how many teams make the Final Four out of the Big Ten?
Probably one, but here's the thing. It's so sad that that's where we're at, where we are not even doing is this year we get a national champion again?
The SEC is good this year, man.
Yeah, but
Duke exists.
The Big Ten, it used to be like every year you could count on there being like 3 or 4 legitimate contenders, and then, they would fall short, but we're not even asking those questions anymore, and for good reason. You look around the Big Ten, the teams that are out there, it's like, those teams that won yesterday, yippee-hooray, but none of those teams are going to go to the Final Four likely. Wisconsin's the best chance.
You think it is Wisconsin?
It is because of that Ken Palm. I'm telling you, that magic number, there's like 7 teams this year in that trapezoid that if you are top 21, I think it was in offensive efficiency, top 31 in defensive efficiency, 96% of your national champions were in that group the last 25 years. They're in it, of 7 teams.
I want it.
It makes you at least feel like there's a shot. But I'm just really disappointed that this is the state of Big Ten basketball where we have to hope that we get a team in the Final Four, Hunter.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's Wisconsin or Michigan State are really going to be the best chances. Like, Michigan looked fine at times, but they just forgot that they're like, oh, we're bigger than UC San Diego, and we can just go to our 7-footer and dominate in the paint and just keep them at arm's length. Instead, they're firing up random threes in that second half. It's like, what are you doing? So Michigan forgets how to play basketball at times, so that's my concern for them. It's Wisconsin and Michigan State is going to be the best chance for it. But again, the SEC is just stupid good this year.
It's nuts.
And it's so annoying. Like, I'm fine if they're a football conference, but, like, don't take basketball from the Midwest.
Are they now?
They took football personally this year, and now they are a basketball
NIL era
conference.
is their
There's
worst
the spin
idea.
zone. Yeah.
NIL is the biggest nightmare to Kirby Smart, to the SEC in general, and I am
Do a
loving
whole show
it.
on that. You've got rants galore on the SEC. So it's Michigan State, Maryland, Illinois, and Oregon today. 2, 4, 6, and 8. Purdue, Wisconsin, UCLA, Michigan, all one. I think those are the 2, right? Izzo, guard.
I guess. I mean, I know that Izzo
There's
has...
not a confident, like, this is our firm leader and they have a great chance.
No, if you told me that all 8 of these Big Ten teams were eliminated probably before the Final Four, you could tell me, honestly, only 1 or 2 make the Elite 8, and I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever. But I want to ask you guys a question now, and we'll have to revisit it because I think it is worth talking about after we have Gabe Neitzel on in this next block. But I want to know what it is about the Big Ten that has made it so hard to find that national champion for 25 years. Because that long-term conversation, guys, was the Big Ten's just so physical, they beat each other up all year. Well, what's the excuse with the Big East back when it was what it was in its heyday, churning out champion after year? What about the ACC with Duke and UNC? Every year it felt like you could count on one of those conferences. So what is it about the Big Ten that hasn't been able to get over the hump in 25 years.
I think you hit on part of it. That persona of let's get in a grinder battle and it's a first to 65, and then you run into a team.
But the Big East was a grind factory when they were, and they were still finding champions.
No, I don't think that's all of it, but I think that's part of it. You run into teams that shoot the lights out, and you physically are not built to put up 80 points. That's not an issue now, though.
Yeah, and it does feel like the Big Ten. I mean, it's kind of the same thing for football, where it's like, oh, these Midwest farm boys playing football, exactly. The Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Big Ten West kind of thing. And that does translate to basketball, where the Big East, like, you're pulling guys from New York, Boston, like you're getting the city schools, so they're playing. It's a different style of basketball compared to what, no shots at Mark Tauscher's alma mater here in Wisconsin. Auburndale is going to be playing. It's going to be a faster game at the high school level that's going to translate to college. Like, I just feel like it was such a different game where, yes, it was physical for the Big East in those years, but it was an athletic physical where, like, Wisconsin and these Midwest states, like, they're just going to beat the crap out of each other, like, literally. And then there's nobody that you're like, oh, wow, that guy can actually, like, move and play. And the guys that can are like Xavion Mitchell for Oshkosh North, who we'll hear on these airwaves later this evening, who's going to Iowa State. And he's Mr. Basketball because they don't stay in the state. They go to these other schools where the basketball is just, it's different. And that's kind of the problem for the Big Ten, I think.
I think you hit the nail on the head with athleticism. That's not exactly a word I would use to describe the Big Ten's 18 teams now. But you bring in some of those different styles, and some conferences are coast to coast, and that's a whole different debate. But up until last year, Wisconsin wasn't shooting the lights out either, and now they are. Different style play.
We'll have to revisit this. I got to push back a little later on.
Another Wisconsin school that's playing today. Marquette 7-10 matchup with New Mexico. Coming up next, we hear from Gabe Neitzel from the Marquette Basketball Radio Network here on the Damn Sports Show Tournament Special, 100.5 ESPN Madison and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Greg Scalzi here for Total Athlete Performance. They're here to provide elite performance training for serious athletes in the Madison area. And there's a new Verona TAP facility open inside of the Verona Athletic Center. Summer speed, agility, and semi-private options are now available at both Verona and Windsor locations, and now offering monthly subscription payment options. Plus, you can download the new Total Athlete Performance app for remote training options all year round. Visit tapwisconsin.com. That's tapwisconsin.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owns. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
Professional volleyball is in full swing from here in Madison. Don't miss a second of the action. Cheer on Love Madison Volleyball as they make history with some of the best players in the world. Olympic medalists, NCAA All-Americans, and one of the most talented rookie classes ever. This is volleyball at its highest level. Experience the excitement yourself. Get your tickets today at lovb.com. Volleyball is the next major league. Bring the energy and be a part of history in Madison. Join us for the inaugural League One volleyball season. The second half of the season is heating up, so don't miss your chance to see these incredible athletes up close at the Alliant Energy Center. Follow Love Madison Volleyball on their journey to the first ever championship in Louisville from April 11th through the 13th. Get your tickets now at lovb.com and be a part of this game-changing season. Volleyball is the next major league.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
There's no safer place to feel dumb than Mr. Irrelevant with Alex Strofe.
We are adults on this program.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to take for people to realize that.
Don't listen to the end of Monday's program.
Don't do that. Don't listen to the end of most of our programs. If you don't listen to the show, you can go ahead and say we are the most mature show on ESPN Wisconsin.
Mr. Irrelevant, live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
When it comes to your body, you want to trust a doctor, and you want to trust the experts. That's why the only place that you should consider going for GLP-1s and semaglutide is Carbon World Health in Madison. Because they're run by Dr. Nestor Rodriguez, they have a workout facility and trainers to help you reach your goals, and they can help with dietary suggestions. The experts for semaglutide and GLP-1s are Carbon World Health. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Hey, ready to sweeten your game? It's time for Quick Trip's Nature's Touch Ice Cream. Ooh, making moves like the starting lineup of a championship team. Whether you're gearing up for the big game, celebrating a win, or just looking for a sweet break in the action. Chocolate, vanilla, cookies and cream, mint chocolate chip, and more. Yeah, there's no such thing as a bad pick. So why wait? Flavor doesn't scoop itself. Get your hands on your winning Nature's Touch Ice Cream flavor today. Only at Quick Trip.
We're on the Packers.
If they're not better this year,
because we're on Wisconsin sports.
There's going to be a lot of seats warming up.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Welcome back to the Damn Sports Show Tournament Special here on 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPN Madison YouTube channel, Daily Dodge TV YouTube page as well. Corey Sparks, Wally Lukashinsky, Hunter Vaughn here with you, and we have a very special fourth guest. Gabe Neitzel joins us now. You can hear him live on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. on ESPN Milwaukee. Gabe is also on the Marquette Basketball Radio Network. Gabe, happy March. Are game day jitters kicking in yet at all?
No, so everybody keeps asking me about that. I know there are a lot of Marquette fans that are a little bit nervous. We've got quite a few Marquette alumni in the ESPN Milwaukee studio, or ESPN Milwaukee office, or GKB Milwaukee offices.
Yeah.
And, there are a lot of people who are nervous. I'm not nervous about this game. I just have a lot of confidence in the senior class, and I am very confident that they're not ready to be done against the Lobos tonight.
Well, Gabe, we've actually been talking a lot the last couple days about the Badgers' expectation and how far they're going to go in a tournament. It's obviously different for every team. You just talked a little bit about your expectations, at least coming through today. Is it kind of an expectation still with Michigan State potentially on the horizon for Marquette to be a Sweet 16 or bust team?
I feel like the fan base, yes, they want that to be the expectation, but I think there are definitely portions of the fan base that are disappointed, and I don't know how you couldn't be, with kind of how the season ended, with where it started so quickly. And Cam Jones earlier this season was playing like the best player in the country, right? He was in that conversation, and I don't want to say he completely fell off, but you can't deny that his three-point shooting percentage this year, career worst he's ever shot it from downtown at Marquette. Now, those numbers have started to turn around a little bit. He's been playing very good basketball the last couple of games into the Big East tournament. He was still playing like one of the best players in the country, but when he was playing like the best player in the country, this was a top 10 team. So there's still a lot of talent, and I think there's still expectations certainly for tonight. Now, Michigan State presents a completely different matchup, and I know that's going to be a tough road, but I think that there's, I don't know. I don't want to say Sweet 16 is the expectation, but there's definitely going to be disappointment if they don't make it that far.
Well, Gabe, you hit on it right there. They've been sputtering a little bit. They dropped 6 of their last 10 contests heading into the Big East tournament. What does this team, and you hit on it a little bit there, what does this team need to do to snap back into sync? Is it all on Cam Jones or the supporting cast as well?
It's on everybody. I mean, certainly Cam has to play great. Like if this team is going to do and do some of the special things that they talk about, it starts with Cam. And I think David Joplin falls under that. He's been shooting the ball better over the last handful of games and a couple of weeks here. they just haven't shot the ball particularly well from distance. And that has allowed defenses to kind of sag off, play more in the paint, because Marquette is just so predicated on driving to the basket. They don't have somebody they're dumping the ball into the post to, right? Ben Gold is more of a perimeter player and a better outside shooter than he is a banger on the post. Royce Parham can do that a little bit off the bench, but even the bench minutes have been really cut down, and Shaka's gone to a smaller kind of group that's out there. But honestly, for this team, it's as simple as how well do they shoot it. Last year their run ended. They went, I think, 4 for 31 was the number in their Sweet 16 game against NC State a year ago. And when they were shooting the ball well earlier this year, they looked like one of the best teams in the country. And now it's not just Cam Jones who, had a career low. For a while there, David Joplin was at or below 30%. He's been able to get that number up because of the hot shooting as of late. But it's that simple. If they knock down shots, defenses have to respect that, and that opens up the driving lanes for Stevie Mitchell and Cam Jones to be able to get to the rim as well.
Well, it's New Mexico today. You seem very confident, and rightfully so. On a scale of 1 to 10, can we quantify that? Where is your confidence that the Golden Eagles take care of business and move on to the second round?
I mean, it's the NCAA tournament, so it's tough to ever have like that true 10 confidence, unless you're like a 1 seed going up against a 16. But even I'll tell you right now, watching some of these games right now, I bet you there's some Bama fans that are sweating through as they only lead Robert Morris by, I think, 4 points at the half. So you're kind of sweating that out. My confidence in tonight honestly feels like a 9 for me, and for a lot of people that might seem high. But I feel really confident about this team tonight. They call this class of seniors Stevie Mitchell, Cam Jones, and David Joplin. They're the guardians. They're the ones who came in with Shaka Smart when he took the job coming up from Texas. And it is a truly special group. It is a historic group in terms of the things they've accomplished in overall wins and conference championships, winning the Big East Conference tournament a couple of years ago. It's a group that's accomplished a lot of special things, and I have a hard time imagining them going out in an upset in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Well, to avoid that upset tonight, Donovan Dent on the other side for the Lobos is kind of the straw that stirs the drink for New Mexico. Leading scorer, leading facilitator. How does Marquette limit him and keep him from being the difference today?
The answer there is Stevie Mitchell. Like he's the best defender that they have, and that's the side of the floor where he really makes an impact. But they'll switch up their defensive looks they have all year, whether that's kind of throwing some of that token pressure out, whether that's going 3/4 court trap. A lot of times they like to go to a 2-3 off of inbound passes on something coming in from the sideline, and then in the last 8 or 9 seconds of the shot clock, they'll just kind of go to a matchup man-to-man and make things different. That's one of the things that I really like about Marquette is the way that they can kind of play a number of different styles of basketball, and they can throw a number of different defenses and a number of different looks at you. Now, certainly New Mexico has had an opportunity since Sunday to kind of get ready for this game, but it's just a different way to play, and I think that's what always makes them a tough matchup in the NCAA tournament because of all the different things that they can do defensively to put pressure on you to execute. It's not just, we were able to run this one screen and roll, or we were able to run this one set play, and because they play, we can keep doing this. No, Shaka's going to come up with solutions defensively, and they're really going to make you work. You're going to have to come up with good solutions in order to solve the defensive puzzles that Shaka Smart likes to throw at you.
Is that the key then, Gabe? Taking a bit of a step back, is there a certain key? Is it defense or multiple components that Marquette needs to excel at to get the job done today?
Well, Shaka's always going to start talking about the defense, right? Mm-hmm. He's always going to start on that end of the ball, and that's he thinks can and that can lead to a lot of things. And when Marquette's been able to turn teams over and get runouts, that's when they can kind of be an avalanche and start to run away and look as good as they did earlier in the season. I'm really curious because it seemed like, at least to me, one of the things that some teams did to Marquette in Big East Conference play was be physical with them. And it's almost like they didn't know necessarily how to handle it. I'm not just talking about down low. My guards on the perimeter being a little handsy and Big East officiating let a lot of that go. Like the St. John's team that won the Big East this year is an incredibly physical team. They're very limited in terms of the skill they have on the offensive end of shooting the basketball. They were terrible shooting the basketball as collectively as a team, but because they were just a physical, grinded out team, they got away with a lot of that stuff in Big East Conference play. think that New Mexico is necessarily this overpowering physical team, and I think that's something that Marquette certainly can use to their advantage. And if somebody tries to be physical with them, are the officials going to let them get away with that? But certainly I think it starts on the defensive end for Marquette, and then for them, a lot of times it comes down to second chance opportunities. Under Shaka, this is a team that's struggled at times with the defensive glass and allowing those second chance points. So as long as they limit that, they're going to play enough defense, they're going to force enough turnovers where they should be able to figure it out on the offensive end.
We've started hearing it more and more in these recent years, but guards win in March. I guess I have kind of a quick two-parter here for you. Is it as simple as that? Cam Jones is going to be what gets this team as far as they do? And how far in the perfect world where Marquette plays what you think is like their brand of basketball, how far can you see this team getting?
So, yes, I mean, the guard play thing in March, Wally, yeah, I think 100% that's true because the guards are going to have the ball in their hand, and Cam Jones is one of the best guards in the country. I think he has to play well in order for Marquette to advance. Maybe not necessarily today, but against some of those better teams like Michigan State. If Cam Jones doesn't play well, this team's not going to go very far. I think it is that simple. And the other key for them is, okay, shooting. Does somebody get hot? Does Cam Jones continue to stay hot? Does Joplin, get hot? Is it Ben Gold who knocks down a couple of key three-pointers for this team? Does Chase Ross shoot the ball particularly well? If this team figures it out and gets hot, I think in a perfect world they could make an Elite Eight run. Like that wouldn't be shocking to me if they beat Michigan State and won the first game in weekend number 2, because we saw this team play like a top 10 team earlier this year. Now, we haven't seen it in the last 6 weeks, but to start the season, this is one of the teams that, was consistently inside that top 10. And if they refine that form, and again, for me, a lot of that comes down to shooting because the effort is typically there for a Shaka Smart coach team, especially in these bigger games. If they knock down, big-time shots, I think there's a very high ceiling on this team.
I have one kind of a broad question for you, Gabe. Just looking at this program as a whole, Marquette brought Shaka Smart in only 2 appearances in the Big Dance over 8 years before he got there, and they have gone dancing each of the first 4 years. I know some people have like deep run expectations now for this program, but what do you make of the tenure we've seen so far in the Shaka Smart era?
I think it is a perfect match. And I can't remember what there was a rumor of some team that might want to, try to poach Shaka Smart away. And I just don't see him leaving Marquette. And obviously we've seen other coaches do it, right? I mean, 20 plus years ago, it was Tom Crean going from Marquette to Indiana. A decade ago, it was Buzz Williams, and he had all those successful runs, and he ends up going to Virginia Tech, and now he's at Texas A&M. But I think Shaka, going from VCU to Texas and the experience that he had there, I think he realizes the support that he has here, that the basketball program is the biggest thing. And in the NIL era, I think that can be a huge advantage for Marquette in terms of, trying to recruit and retain basketball talent. They're not like a big time SEC school where, okay, how are we going to be able to get all these funds for our basketball team, for our baseball team, for our basketball, in our football team? How are we going to be able to distribute all these different funds? And, Marquette obviously has some other successful programs. The volleyball team's been on a pretty good run as of late. They've got other athletes in other areas, but I mean, basketball is the biggest thing. Men's and women's basketball is the thing at the University of Marquette, and they really pour resources into it. And I think Shaka realizes that. And then he comes in with his, with his teamwork and leadership and the different philosophies that he's had. It just feels like it fits. To be a team that didn't bring in a transfer, that didn't lose anybody to the transfer portal last year, clearly he knows the type of player that he wants on this team. And that's not to say he's never going to, lose another player. He's never going to use the transfer portal because he certainly did when he first arrived here. That's where Tyler Kolek, who had such a great career for Marquette, came from. He transferred in from George Mason. But I just feel like it's just such a perfect fit that he understands what he wants to do and has the support of the university. To go to the NCAA tournament the last 4 years, Yeah, that's such, that's what this fan base has been clamoring for, these consistent opportunities to make these special memories in March. And that's what he's going to provide, because he knows the type of player that he's going to be able to recruit, the type of teams that he's going to be able to put on the floor. Maybe sometimes it's, like his first early teams where they sneak into the tournament and you're hoping they can pull off an upset. Other times it's going to be a team like the last, couple of years where they were a 2 seed and you have expectations for them to make a deep run. But I feel like the marriage of the university and Shaka Smart is a pretty strong one, and I have a hard time imagining that he would walk away from Marquette because of the strong bonds he's been able to build.
It's been a blast for a ride the last 4 years, Gabe. As always, we appreciate you. I have to end with this. Yesterday, there were some spirited debates in the ESPN Madison office about this. I may or may not have instigated it. What's the appropriate amount of brackets you are allowed to... Yeah, I've been here one day, and look what I'm doing. What's the appropriate amount of brackets you're allowed to fill out? I could not be in a more different spot than both Hunter and Wally. I made 25. I maxed out ESPN yesterday.
25?
Yes,
He's
sir.
absurd. He
Okay,
should be in
okay.
prison.
Play the odds.
Yeah, no, you need to be arrested. There's just, look, I subscribe to one bracket, and that's just for me because, I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough time to try to figure out, okay, when I sit down to watch the games, I want to watch them and have fun, and I know who I picked, right? If I have 25 brackets, I have no idea who the hell I picked. Exactly. I can't keep any of that straight. So, but look, I'm okay. If you want to fill out multiple brackets, do that. That's good on you. However, if you start getting past 5, I got a lot of questions, and you are doing 5 times that.
Yes.
How do you even keep that straight? How do you have the time to fill out 25 brackets?
I do the randomly generated but weighted by seed. Usually gives you about 5 or 6 significant updates, and then we just tweak. There could literally be duplicates in that 25, and I wouldn't be able to deny that. So that's that.
Well, here's the thing, Gabe, too. How do you take any pride when bracket number 13 wins and you walk around the office and being like, look at me, I won the tournament? You didn't do that.
We
There's
were alive
no
till
pride
7
in
yesterday.
that.
See, and again, maybe there's just an age gap because I'll tell you what, it was when I was in high school, we had a guy who was on the basketball team, very good player, but he's the one who always organized the NCAA tournament pool for a bunch of the guys in Horicon, and it was $5 a bracket. If you wanted to buy in multiple times, you could, but you're a high school kid. You're not affording more than maybe 2 brackets that you're going to throw in there.
100%.
And then you actually had to write all these things down on a piece of paper. You had to print out the bracket and write it out. You're not writing that 25 times.
Absolutely not.
This is where technology has it's pushed the term into a wrong direction. Because I assure you, Corey, if you had to write out 25 brackets, you would not enter 25 times.
Absolutely not. No, I'm there with you on that. I'm probably stopping at 1, maybe 2, and then I'd know who I was rooting for. But like I told Hunter and Wally yesterday, I was having fun until about 7:25 p.m. yesterday. That's when the last one fell, and it was number 13, actually. Good call. Thank you, as always, for joining us, Gabe. We appreciate it. Best of luck to Marquette.
Yeah, we'll talk to you boys on Monday.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it, Gabe.
I don't get him to crack much. That got him.
Anybody that says I do 25 brackets, that the cracking is the only appropriate response. That's just, it's absurd to the nth degree.
What are we eating during the tournament? Best snack foods coming up next to your Damn Sports Show. Tournament special on 100.5 ESPN Madison and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always, always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
When you do the right thing more often in the draft, you end up with more good football players. And next thing you know, you have another guy that you feel awesome about, even though you didn't feel pressure to do it.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by Hallman Lindsay Paints, Coors Light, Made to Chill, and American Family Insurance.
Join the Madison Area Sports Commission live and in person for a Good Morning Sports event featuring Love Madison Volleyball. On March 31st, meet an all-star lineup of Love Madison athletes and hear about the first season of pro volleyball in Madison. Registration donations benefit the MASC Youth Grant to get kids into sports. Register online at visitmadison.com/GMS. This event is sponsored by American Family Insurance and Oak Bank, supported by ESPN Madison, and produced by the Madison Area Sports Commission.
Hi, this is Brian Posick, and I can't wait for Mark Osiki's Casting for Kids Fishing Tournament coming up Saturday, May 17th on the Madison Chain of Lakes. It's a great time, great people, all for a great cause. There's lunch, dinner, raffles, and auctions, all to support the American Family Children's Hospital, UW Carbone Cancer Center. Plus a chance to win an Alumacraft fishing boat from Don's Marine. Join us on the water May 17th. Donate or partner with us. Learn more and register at castingforkids.org. That's casting4kids.org.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Monday, we'll continue to react to the NCAA tournament. Plus, is it a guarantee that we'll see LeBron or Steph in the Western Conference Finals? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Thank you so much to Gabe Neitzel from the Marquette Basketball Radio Network and Jen, Gabe, and Chewy for visiting us here, giving us some insight on the Damn Sports Show tournament special ahead of Marquette's contest tonight against New Mexico's 6:25 p.m. tip 7:10 matchup. Corey Sparks, Wally Lukashinsky, and Hunter Vaughn here with you. Hunter, you are awesome. You're in our ear letting us know, like making sure we stay on time. There's different luxuries. Beaver Dam is amazing. There are different luxuries in every different space, and we've appreciated you so much. And I just knocked us off by like 6-7 minutes on the show clock. So thank you for bearing with me.
Yeah, it's fine. We just got to be out. We got to make sure we get to Riley Auk and Adam Mertz for the Division II state semifinals by 1:15. So whatever.
We're grooving.
I'm
You're
chill.
a beauty, Hunter, and we love you for it.
I appreciate you so much. 844-770-3776. Your response to Wisconsin's win, or Marquette fans. Do you think they get it done tonight? If so, how far do they go? This is a pretty simple one. Probably some shorter answers, but that's okay. More so curiosity that kind of inspired this one. Best tournament watching snack. Specifically this tournament. Not talking about the big game in February. Not talking about the NBA Finals. Specifically in March. What is the best tournament watching snack? We'll go Waller. Waller. That's a new one.
Yeah, that's all right. That's
Wally,
a first.
Hunter than me.
All right, Waller's going to go first here. I tell you what, I think it's an easy one. It's got to be wings. It's got to be wings first. That's A1. But if you're going to slip after, it's got to be table food. So like mozzarella sticks, chips and salsa. It's got to be table food that you can order for a group of people that everybody loves. I know pretzels probably an honorable mention too.
I didn't even think about that.
Give me wings, then give me mozzarella sticks all day, Hunter.
See, I just want stuff that I can eat all day long. Like wings sitting out, once you get through like the first game and a half, I don't want those wings if they've been sitting out all day.
Oh, we're different people.
What?
See, that's no, like
They don't hit the same. Yeah.
They don't hit the same guy. I'm still eating them. And I'm going to have a smile on my face when I do it.
You sick.
Oh, no, like I can't do cold pizza. I need my food to be warm, or I have to know that this is designed to be a cold or room temperature food. So like salsa, fine. But the second queso gets cold, no, I can't do it.
You know, I actually am in a weird spot. I'm a big dude, but cold pizza, it is like a night and day difference. The quality just plummets through the floor.
I don't get how people can do cold pizza. It's disgusting.
And how about this? My hot take is that you throw it in the microwave, it changes the actual taste of the pizza.
Yeah, it changes the
taste as
chemistry.
good.
Absolutely.
Hunter,
Yep.
you know what, man? This is bad. I'm telling you, I'm kidnapping you, bringing you back to Beaver Dam with me.
Or we might just have to bring you here.
Oh, I guess that's also a possibility.
Yeah.
We'll just have to schedule home and homes, kind of set it up with the Alabama-Wisconsin game.
Perfect.
All right, good stuff.
Is cold pizza better than at least when it's re-microwaved and heated up again?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it still is that original chemistry, to
Yeah,
your point.
and it's warm.
Yeah.
Like, that's my whole thing, is that whether it is hot or cold, I need it to be what it is designed to be at.
Okay.
Well, if
We're
it's
in the
cold
same spot
pizza,
there.
if I made you have cold pizza, Hunter, are you like me where I have to almost have marinara sauce to like dip it in because it almost like gives it a little bit more of the juice to me? Because I feel like you lose the sauce. It's like the sauce somehow evaporates overnight.
See, this is the problem. I'm at the age where if I get too much tomato sauce in me, start getting that heartburn, starts bubbling
You
up.
got to fight through it, man. That's what I do.
No, I don't like that feeling. That's not fun.
No.
Once you get old, like, you don't want that anymore.
Well,
I do
embrace
things to actively avoid that.
No, I would see, and that's probably wise, but no, I absolutely am just like, yeah, things don't feel good. Pound the chest a few times. That'll be all right.
I would have never thought that about someone who bowled until he had to get 4,300 pins.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Well, and
You
then
didn't strike
around
me
here,
as-
With an asterisk.
Here we go with the asterisk. That was a
up.
preset rule going in. We had a wheel with negatives and positives.
But for those that don't know who are listening on the radio, Wally here decided he was going to bowl the same number of pins for how many yards Sam Darnold got. That ended up being 4,319. The reason it's an asterisk is that originally people had to donate money to the John Moser Children's Radiothon in person at Tower Lanes in Beaver Dam. They then changed the rules and people could send in money online to knock down the number. So you changed the rules midway through.
That is above my pay grade.
You allowed it, though. You could have had some integrity and said
You want to
no.
hear about integrity, Hunter? What did I do, Corey, when we started getting too many donations to help the pin count? What did Wally do?
So we got down to like the 3,200 range, and Wally goes, we need to, if we hit 3,000, start going back up.
I want these money to make me bowl more. That's what I said. Punish me. Let
You
every
still changed
dollar
the
hurt
rules.
me. This is unbelievable.
We had our arms
This is like
twisted.
Roger Maris getting those extra 62 games.
This is unbelievable is what it is. It's a shame. We're talking down on a hero.
Oh, how do we get to hear from cold pizza? Somehow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm falling apart.
I really like the Hunter take on everything. Cold pizza is the one where I'm fine with. Like, that's the one where if it's left out for a few games or you get it the next morning, everything else, though, no, I'm not eating wings after the first game and a half. That's disgusting. Jalapeno poppers are mine. I hated these until literally 3 to 4 years ago. Can't get away from them now. And those are kind of like what Hunter was bringing up, too. You can eat those all day long.
I can't do cream cheese.
Oh.
Not a cream cheese guy.
You're not a cream. How are you not a cream cheese guy?
I'm not a cream cheese guy. I'll just go on record. Not
What
for
is
me.
it about the cream cheese?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a texture thing. I don't know. Like, because jalapenos fantastic. Absolutely love them. Throw a jalapeno popper in, it just doesn't do it for me.
You're
if I'm
strange,
wasting
strange
my
man.
calories, I'm wasting on something that I'm gonna have, like the mozzarella sticks. Give me the pretzel. Pretty much anything down the line. I just don't need that.
He's a big hater of dipping your pizza in ranch too.
Oh, that is. I am just on record to say that marinara is better. And all of a sudden, this has shifted. I just think that you Midwesterners are out of your mind with the obsession with ranch around here.
How dare you?
I know. I might get run out of town. I might be allowed.
Yeah, I think we need to take a break before I start throwing hands.
That's fair. Let's get into the 1 o'clock hour. This is the Dam Sports Show Tournament Special with Hunter Vaughn, Wally Lukashinsky, and Corey Sparks here on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and 100.5 ESPN Madison.
When you're having computer problems, you need a company you trust to get things working again, quickly and affordably. Madison Computer Works has been doing that for business and residential customers for decades. Our computer care plans take away the hassle of being without your computer or needing to bring it in for repair. Starting at only $10 a month, our local and friendly techs provide remote help and can fix most problems in just minutes. Call 608-231-8000 and sign up today. Madison Computer Works, computers that work for you.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
With the next pick in the big draft, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Dane County selects you. As we count down to the draft in Green Bay, Big Brothers and Big Sisters is also counting on you to help meet the growing demand of mentorship in our community. Become a role model, a motivator, a supporter, a positive influence. Empower the young people in our community to create a brighter future for all. Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Dane County presents The Big Draft in partnership with the NFL Inspire Change. Learn how to get involved at bbbsmadison.org.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
A day full of basketball. NCAA tournament underway. Day 2 today. Prep Sports as well. Zimbrick Honda's championship presentation of Prep Mania is going to be on right after this. Riley Yauk has the call for the Division II semifinal game, the first of 2, Racine Park and Cedarburg. And then I am very jealous. You've got a Xavion Mitchell game tonight, Hunter. That's awesome.
Yeah, Xavion Mitchell just announced as the Mr. Basketball for the state by the Coaches Association, so the Player of the Year.
Unanimous,
super excited
right?
for that. Yeah, that's what I've heard, is that it wasn't even a contest. That's how good he's been this year. So excited to see him play. He's going up against Wisconsin Lutheran. So for those that have been seeing Duke this March, Con Knippel from Wisconsin, his younger brother, Cager, and Kinston are both playing in this game.
There's 2 more.
Oh, there are 5 boys in that family.
Oh, my gosh.
There are 4 more.
That's a starting 5.
Okay.
They're just going to have a starting 5 themselves.
Yeah, so this Wisconsin Lutheran will be in the state tournament regularly for like the next decade because of the Knippel family. It's ridiculous. They're so good at basketball too. Like, I'm not even hating. Like, they're so entertaining to watch. Wisconsin Lutheran's so good, and then we've got the area team Wanakee taking on Marshfield tonight. That game's going to be so good. Marshfield's got a kid that can hit a bunch of threes. It's going to be so good.
There we go.
Do you ever feel bad, though, when you think about yourself and you're like, if I pass along my gene pool, like my poor kid, they don't
stand a chance.
They're going to just be walking into things like this and just like, hey, man, I was going to say, get that LinkedIn ready. Make sure you're doing good in school. Because sports ain't for you.
Yeah, they're going to be dealing with celiac and heartburn and asthma and peanut allergies
sauce
from me.
At 33.
I lost my hair at 18. Like, They just no chance. None at all.
That, Hunter.
Well, these kids are going to have an inherent obsession to just torture themselves with challenges like every 2 months.
Apparently. I don't know. There's something wrong with me.
The Knipple driveway basketball battles, how do you think those go? That's probably insane.
Well, I mean, just imagine, like, they were insane in your own families. Just imagine if you're actually at a high level.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we're not even good enough
dunking
to, like,
on each other at the age of 14.
Yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden, my brain can't even compute that because I was just happy when I'd be like 30% shooting.
Yeah. A couple minutes left here on the Damn Sports Show tournament special. The ESPN Madison team here has been so gracious to allow us in here. Not once, but twice. I'm shocked the parking pass worked this morning. Thought there was a chance. Maybe we just wouldn't be in.
I thought that they didn't realize that you and I were driving together. I'm convinced they're like, Corey, get in here, and then they saw me with you.
It's probably the other way around.
No.
Other way around.
You're the one getting trade offers, sir.
My man.
Yeah.
My man.
It's definitely the other way around. Yesterday, I'm trying to think of the upsets. McNeese?
Well, if
Drake?
this is the thing, too.
Pretty chalky, right?
Exactly. We've gotten so used to there being these upsets year after year because the mid-majors have really closed the gap. It feels like we're due for a chalk year, doesn't it? I hope I'm wrong, but it was pretty chalky on day one.
The big one, I'm going to call it that. I think that's a reference in NASCAR to the huge crash at, is it just Daytona? Or what?
Talladega as well.
Any big restrictor plate races. The big one, I don't think that's happened yet in this tournament, meaning a 13, 14, or 15, or even 16 seed upsetting. Robert Morris was giving Alabama a run for their money. Now they're down 10 with 12:30 to play. Is there one on the slate today that you guys look at and go, maybe that's it? Maybe that's the one that stuns everybody.
I keep going first, Hunter. I want to hear from you.
I don't know if we're gonna get one. Like, I just don't. It just doesn't feel like it. Like, I don't see the 15s or the 16s getting upsets. And after that, like, I feel like we're just kind of at the point where it's like, yeah, 14 beats a 3. Okay, yeah, like, that happens. We see that enough now. I feel like you said, the mid-majors have closed that gap. I think NIL's closed that gap. I think just the way the game's played has helped with that. And it's just gotten to the point where good players are everywhere now, and you're going to see this more and more.
And North Carolina is an 11, so I saw people trying on Twitter last night to sell it like them. They're the evil stepsister trying to fit in a Cinderella's shoe.
Yeah.
That is absolutely, you cannot call UNC a Cinderella. I don't care if they go to Sweet 16 and is an 11. You're not a Cinderella. What I would say, if you're going to find one that you're trying to justify as that, maybe Grand Canyon over Maryland.
Okay.
They feel like they're
13-4.
always competitive in that first round. And I know they got over the hump last year. It really didn't feel like an upset, though. It was a 12-5 with St. Mary's. And St. Mary's is a smaller program themselves. So maybe Grand Canyon over Maryland, but I'm kind of with Hunter. I think Cinderella, that pumpkin, it's going to be empty today.
If I had to forecast one, I know nothing about the Zips. I do know Arizona is not a 4 seed. That was the other thing I disagreed with. I was complaining all of the last, 4 or 5 days here going, Louisville got robbed and Arizona got way too much. They basically both made their conference tournament finals and lost to two 1 seeds in the tournament right now. And I'm going, okay, so even though Arizona spent a decent chunk of this year not as a ranked team and had 12 losses, they're still a 4. I go Zips.
Fear the Roo.
Yeah.
That's what they say over there in Akron. Go Zips. We got to fear the Roo, that goofy, giant, little, looks like me kangaroo.
Be nice to yourself.
I will be honest here. I kind of spaced out getting ready for Prep Mania. All I heard was the kangaroo
he just
looks
called
like
himself
me.
A kangaroo.
Yeah, Akron Zips,
Wally
baby.
or something else, man.
Hey, got to fear that thing. He looks good. That's all I'm saying.
Fear that thing. All right, coming up next, Zimbrick Honda's championship presentation of Prep Mania. It's the 1 seed in Racine Park and the 4 seed in Cedarburg going toe-to-toe to make it the Division II state final. Enjoy that. Thank you so much for joining us on the Damn Sports Show Tournament Special on 100.5 ESPN Madison and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
The GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. GRB Academy wants to be part of your plan to reach your potential. Utilize GRB Academy's 52,000 square